Hi guys, so this is my, I think, third video. Today I'm just going to be talking about why I chose level 3 extended diploma in health and social care. The things I'm going to be covering are the jobs that you can do to get into it, what the first year of that course is like in a college, what you learn, what you need to get in, what the change is like from GCSE to level 3, and then why I chose it over A levels, so why I chose to do a diploma, and then the path you can go down, so that's like uni, apprenticeships, straight off job, you know, the opportunities you have from this course. I'm doing this video because personally, when I was looking at colleges and courses I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to go into something medical, but I wasn't really feeling the hard study of A levels, so I looked down this route, but it didn't really give you loads of information and give you that personal feeling of why to do it and what it entails as a person who's already done it. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you about that today. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the jobs you can do. So it's health and social care, it's both of them in one diploma. So health, you can kind of go into medical. What I didn't know is you can go on to do paths like doctor and dentist, and dentist care assistants. I didn't know that before I went into the course. Not something I'm personally looking at, but I found it quite fascinating that you can go down that route. Then you've got nursing, midwifery, paramedics, anything kind of hospital based, or district nurses, healthcare assistants, that kind of, the broad spectrum of medical kind of comes under it. Then you've got social care, so that's like teacher, nursery assistants, teaching assistants, social workers, youth workers, sex educational teachers. You can work with companies that do that. And you can kind of use this to get into those kind of sectors. You can also work with disabled children, which I think is this is a really good course to help you go through that way, if that's something you're looking into. Yeah, you can kind of, I'm not going to go through a large list of all specific jobs you can kind of do, because that would take me forever, because this course is quite wide, you can do quite a lot. But if there is a specific role you're thinking about, or you know you want to do 100%, then I would email the college you're getting in touch with, or universities, or somewhere that gives you that help. I'd email them or call them and just ask them, because that's what I did when I was going into the course. But yeah, you've kind of, I was worried paramedics wouldn't be on it, but paramedics is. So next I'm moving on to what first year is like in a college and doing this course. So for me, I personally love college. I found it so eye-opening, and it really gives you your independence to do independent study, really make your own friends, really grow as a person into the young adult that they're trying to help you become. Obviously every college is different, and if you're thinking about sixth form is completely different. I'm just talking on a perspective of someone who goes to a independent college. Yeah, it is amazing. I'd highly recommend it over a sixth form, because you get that full on, it feels almost like a university, but just that step behind, just so it's preparing you for that and preparing you for adult life, but you're also not being completely thrown in the deep end. You've still got that support you need, which was for me really nice, because I went in it, I went to a new college completely by myself. I was making new friends, I didn't really have anyone I knew, and especially going into health and social care, there was no one in my class that went to my secondary school, so I completely started fresh and made my own friends from there. And I found that as a really good way to develop skills in putting yourself into situations that you'd normally find quite difficult. Yeah, so I really like that. But yeah, if you're someone who's more shy and scared, it can either really work for you and it can really push out your boundary, and you can be like, yeah, this is exactly what I want, or you can feel like you need to stick in a sixth form that you maybe went to secondary school in, or that is a bit smaller so you don't have so many people around you and it's such a big new space. You're already kind of familiar with that section. That makes sense. So I'm now going to lay out what the 2 years is like. Obviously for some other level 3 health and social care it may be different. I don't quite know whether other schools do it differently, but this is where ours lays it out. So you first start off in September in your first year and you learn 2 exam units. So you've got Unit 1, which is Human Lifespan Development, and Unit 2, which is Working in Health and Social Care. These 2 units are quite good as a way to get into it. It doesn't really drop you in. It's kind of, working in health and social care can be quite common sense, learning laws, which I know sounds difficult, but when it comes with health and social care you can really understand them quite quickly. You've got policies to learn about, you've got safeguarding, confidentiality, it all comes under it, and it's really helpful when trying to understand what that kind of setting would be like. Human Lifespan Development, it wasn't my favourite unit, but it was a good starter. It really got you into it and helped you understand what level 3 health and social care will be about. Yeah, and you kind of get taken through the stages, which will fully help you later on when you start doing other units. You then move on to coursework. Once you've done your exams in about, I think it's January time, you then move on to coursework. I preferred coursework. If you're someone who loves to write, as we know I am someone who loves to write, I'm quite passionate. If you haven't, go check out my blog. I've written quite a few blog posts already. There will be plenty more to come. So it should be in the link below, and yeah, go check it out. You start doing coursework. It is quite, you have different ways of doing it. So you have presentations. If that scares you, don't worry, it scared me, but it's just in front of your teacher, and you should become quite comfortable with your teachers and they should be really supportive and helpful. So performing in front of them to do a presentation about something you love should be, you know, alright. And if you don't love the unit, that's alright, there will be another one to come along that will be quite helpful. So there are 2 tasks you do within a unit for coursework. There will be different layouts, so one will be like an essay and one would be a PowerPoint presentation. That has to be like 15 minutes. That's what you get given, and you get given case studies and kind of what the task wants you to have. So you have criteria you have to hit, so you've got pass, merit and distinction criteria. There will be multiple within that. Your teachers should go through it because it is quite hard to understand, but once you've gone through it a couple of times it's quite becomes quite second nature really. So you get like P1, P2, P3, then like M1, M2 and then D1, maybe D2. And they just give you like a question that you basically need to answer and ensure you've got everything within that to hit that. So you can move on to the next one. If you miss something within one of the criteria, so say you get P1, P3, P4, but you don't get P2, unfortunately you failed. You've got to get all of them to get the pass, but don't let that put you off, because if I knew that I probably would have, but really don't let it put you off. You've got 2 times you can have a go at it, you can get it back, redo it. You'll get some more support, especially in first year. You'll get more support with help of writing it out, what you need to include, because your teacher's written it, marked it, sorry, and they will go through it and be like, this is why I put this, and they should help you to be able to achieve that criteria. It is really easy to get under your belt. At first it seems quite scary and you're very much like, I don't know if I've got the skills to do this, but they will help massively with doing it. So don't worry about that. You will have a good support system behind you. You've also got your friends within the course who will, you know, you'll use each other as support to help answer stuff. Obviously not copying, but you also learn how to reference, and you'll learn great skills throughout doing the coursework unit. And I was someone who went through GCSEs never doing a coursework unit in my life. I did a little one for drama, but it was, you know, it wasn't big at all. So I was terrified to do coursework because I felt like it was going to be so hard. I was not going to have any of the skills to go through any of it. But once you start it, you can really understand and really get into the groove of it. And if you are struggling, just go to teachers. They are there to support you, and that's something I regret not doing, is going to them more and being like, look, I am confused, because they will be there 100% for you. They want you to do the best you can do. That's another thing you'll find with college as well, is something fully for you, so you can get the future that you aim to do. They are not caring about what the college looks like. They are fully, this is your time to shine, we are going to help you do that, to give you your next steps. And I just find that also a great part of college. So yeah, and then so you'll do Unit 5, Unit 7, Unit 11 and Unit 19 if it's the same as ours. You might find that you'll move on and do them differently. This is with Pearson, so it might be different if you're not with Pearson. 5 and Unit 7, there are quite a lot of criteria that they kind of want you to hit, but it does seem like such a horrible task. But what you will find is task with 1 will be different to task 2, so 1 will be heavier than the other really. So Unit 5 was meeting individual care and support needs. And Unit 7 was principles of safe practice in health and social care. So Unit 7 was kind of really going over laws, policies, confidentiality, really everything you need to know to go into working, and making sure your patients or your service users are really safe and you're giving them the best care you can. Unit 5 is just looking at the person as an individual. You'll learn about holistic care as well, and obviously this might seem a bit gobbledygook to you because you haven't learned it, but you will definitely learn it in time, and it is such a good thing to learn, as I find it. I personally think this course is so good for really learning what the setting is like and what you need to know compared to doing A-levels. So then on to Year 2. Obviously I haven't done it yet, so I can't say what units you're going to do. I can't say exactly what it's going to be like. I haven't had personal experience. But if this one goes well and you want me to do another video by the end of Year 2, say you've just joined college a year behind me, and you're like, I really want to know what Year 2 is like, I want a personal account, I will definitely do that for you guys, and I will definitely be very honest with it like I am this time. So yeah, layout of Year 2 is kind of similar, so you'll do, I think it's just 1 exam around January time, and you'll learn it through September. It's quite a big unit though. And then you'll do coursework on the side of that, and then I think the rest is a really independent coursework year, because you've learnt it through Year 1 of doing coursework. Year 2 will be more independent, and you'll have more time to organise yourself and use the time sensibly. So if you are looking into level 3, or you've just stumbled across this video and you're like, oh, I could do that, let's have a look. I'm going to give you some information about what you need to actually be able to do this course. It's quite not easy to get into, but you kind of just need the basics and you'll learn from there. So you just need 5 GCSEs, grade 4 above, including English and Maths. I think you have to have 1 or more science, but they say science is good to have anyway. So yeah, definitely a good thing to get into. If you were anything like me when doing GCSEs, I was so stressed that I wasn't going to get them. So stressed I wasn't going to get in. I was so worried that none of it would go my way. I'm about to sleep. I kind of go over GCSEs and kind of explain what it's like from a change, because for me the change from GCSEs to college was terrifying. I didn't know where to go, I didn't know what to stick with, whether to stick with friends, whether to start new. It's completely obviously different for everyone, but I want to just kind of say my experience, what I found, what it's like, whether you should do it, etc. So the change from GCSE to level 3, sorry, is that you've got so much more independence. I probably said independence 90 times through this video already, but it is such a key part of starting college and going through college, is really having that time to learn organisation skills, to learn how to use your time wisely and use the time for you to get the best out of your lessons. For GCSEs, you probably feel like you're just doing it because you have to, you're doing it because it's a part you have to go through to move on and grow up, and it's a horrible part and you don't want to do it, because that was me. And obviously you get to choose a few of your GCSEs, but there are some that you have to do that you really don't want to do. For me, that was maths. I could not understand maths. But yeah, you really, once you get by the end of year 11, you really go, I need to get this independence, I need to learn to be me and grow as a person. And for me, that meant starting college, going to a new place, starting fresh, making new friends, leaving GCSEs behind, because I stress out so much about GCSEs that it was crazy. That I just really wound myself up to a point that no one should go to. It's really something that everyone has to do. It is hard. It does take hard work to do well and get what you want. As much as people say I'm not naturally gifted, I can't do it, that was me. I thought I was going to fail everything. No matter how much hard work I put in, I was just going to end up with all threes. I was going to walk out, have nothing to do, nowhere to go, can't get into college, and I just broke myself into a wreck. So I would highly recommend not doing that. Really talk to people as well. Even if they've heard it 100 times that you're struggling because of GCSEs and this pressure and the fact that you've got growing up, social life and GCSEs all at the same time, they will listen to you, and they will listen to you over and over again, because they know we've all been through it. It is so hard, and it can be so emotionally draining sometimes because of the pressure that you have on you from teachers, from maybe parents, from peers. You've got so much going on that, and especially yourself, that you just become overwhelmed. So if you want to message me, DM me, put it on my blog post, comment it somewhere, you can really just come to me and I will tell you exactly what can help. I can also do a video of study tips. I'm really here to support you guys because I know what it was like going through GCSEs and how brutal it is. So I really want to help you guys, and especially moving on into college, because it's such a fun and important step that everyone needs to do, whether that's college or sixth form, sorry. But I've gone off on a ramble. So from GCSEs, you will be very forced into certain subjects, you're very limited to certain subjects, and they're very broad. They don't really go around a job occupation so much. They're just kind of a general lesson kind of thing, and you probably won't feel as motivated because it won't be going towards a job that you want to do. And I found that I just wasn't motivated to do any of it. Like the beginning of year 10, I was so ready to do biology. I loved biology, but by the end, because it didn't really show the job that I wanted to do, I was bored and just over it, and the pressure I was over. So yeah, when you go into level 3, extended diploma health and social care, you will really find it is so focused around these job roles that you are looking into do. At first I wanted to be a paramedic, so going in it was so focused on that and hospital settings, and I was loving it. And then as I've done the course, I've noticed that uni isn't really the right place for me personally. It might be in the end, but for now I'm looking at doing a nursing apprenticeship and then going on to train to be a midwife further from there, because it allows me to earn while I learn, and it means I can stay where I am right now. And yeah, and it means I can live with my boyfriend and we can carry on our lives together, which is all really fun and exciting. And this is one of the things about college and this course. It really helps you to see your future and really helps you to pick a path, which makes everything surrounding that so exciting and so new. And because it's only 2 years, you really get to get more excited, because it's not like those 5 block years during GCSEs where it feels like such a long time. And trust me, the first year goes so fast. Obviously for my first year I've done like 3 or 4 months of it at home due to coronavirus, but yeah. And for you, you might come into it and feel this is really not for me, I need to back out, which you have a chance to do. You can change the course. So I would recommend when you're looking at applying, looking at a couple either A-levels or a different course, so you have a backup just in case you feel like it's really not for you. But I would say if you are feeling like maybe this is for you but you don't quite know, stick it out. It is a good course. You are so supported. It's such a nice course to learn. It's hard work, but it's not really hard work to the point that you burn yourself out. It is a nice steady course. Next is why I chose it over A-levels. So I was looking originally to go into college and doing 3 A-levels to get me into uni. Obviously paths change. And then I went to my interview, which you have to do, and I was like, I want to do biology, geography and geology, which obviously isn't quite medicine based, but with A-levels I didn't really want to do science because I wasn't the best. I was struggling with it a little bit because chemistry and physics were not my strong point. So I found geology I really liked. I don't know whether you've seen on my Instagram and my blog posts, but I have been to Iceland on a school trip. Amazing, I loved learning about it. It's such a beautiful place. So I chose those 3 subjects and I was like, this is going to be so good, it gives me so many opportunities, but it wasn't the opportunities that I wanted. So I told the person who was interviewing me and I said, this is what I plan to do. I plan to be a paramedic, I plan to go through uni. And she's like, okay, these A-levels do look good, but if you want something that's less exam based, more coursework based, and you can do it over time and it can help you become a paramedic probably easier, level 3 extended diploma health and social care is probably a route that you can research, but we think you have the capabilities for A-levels. If they think you've got the grades and the capabilities for A-levels, they will probably push that just a little bit, but obviously they want it to be your full choice. I kind of let that lie a bit. I was like, that sounds cool, yeah, cool. Let it lie, because I was so set on A-levels. And then I researched it and it was so focused on patient care, what a hospital was like, cases with hospitals. You learn about so many cases, about things where hospitals have gone wrong, any care settings have gone wrong. You look at hospital like data, it's so around what you probably want to go into that it makes you so motivated and you're like, yes, this is what I want to do, this is so much better than A-levels. And it is so much more coursework based. So for A-levels you do learning over a period of 2 years with revision, and then you do exams at the end. Obviously if you're someone who really struggles to write for a long while or a long amount, you might want to look into other options. Like, it's still possible for you to do this, and I will discuss that with your future teachers and the people who are doing your interviews about your struggle with writing. But you should be alright because it's such an easy thing to write about. And my grades are, in my first year I got 2 merits on my exams, and then all my other coursework I've had distinctions. So I've got 4 distinctions, 2 merits, so I'm hoping overall my overall grade will be either a merit or distinction, which would be good because you need a merit to go on into second year. Other colleges may be different, but you do need that merit to move on. You can't get past. You can, from the first year you can leave because that will give you your level 3. The extended diploma part is the second year. So say you wanted to leave level 3 and go be a healthcare assistant, that is a possibility for you. So the paths it can take you down, I've kind of touched this already, but basically you've got uni, you've got apprenticeships, and you've got work. So jobs, it's kind of like you can do healthcare assistant, that kind of thing you can learn. Then you've got uni, which is obviously you'll have to look at unis and whether they've got the degree you want. But basically, most of the time, any degree under the sun. To uni from there, you just have to basically check whether that uni and that degree will allow the diploma, And I found researching it, a lot of them do. A lot of them are accepting them now as an alternative to A-levels diploma. And normally it's like a distinction, a merit, or a distinction, merit, or a distinction. Now I'm just going to explain that to you because you might have become quite confused with this. So in your first year you get a final grade. In your second year you get 2 grades. So that will lead to the distinction, merit. So you can get the merit and then get a distinction and a distinction, or you can get a merit and a distinction. I've really enjoyed working hard because it's, yet again, independent. So you really get to have control over the way you're writing, over the way you're doing your presentations. It is very personal and the way you want to do it. The apprenticeships, and that's the route I aim to go down. It is a really NYU Learn, that is their kind of shame thing. It is really just, I really want to get out there and start working now and start saving and start preparing for the future really. And instead of, I don't want to carry on loads and loads of studies with uni, so I've taken the route of nursing apprenticeships, and then you do an 18-month course to become a midwife, which will be a lot easier than just head diving into a midwifery degree. Yeah, so you've got really loads of opportunities from this course as well. There will be people out there who have written about it and fully described it, but this video is kind of just gone over the basics of things that I wish I knew a bit more from someone talking about it. Something you decide about what you want to do, because this is your future, and I know that's quite big and it puts a lot of pressure on it, because I felt a lot of pressure to make a decision at like 14 years old to choose my GCSEs, and then 16 years old to choose my college course. But really it's not as daunting as it seems. I know you feel quite young and you feel like, I don't know whether this is actually what I want to do, but as you start to do these courses, as you start to go through the process, you will learn whether this is right for you or whether it's not. So thank you for watching. I hope this has helped. I hope it's added to your decision making, because I know the process is probably already in the way. I mean, we're close to coming up to September now. But yeah, I hope this helps for anyone in the future. So yeah.